there. He returns it up towards Lucas Moura, and Holebas has a bit more time to get the clearance complete on this occasion.
They eventually clear their lines, Watford, don't they? But Christian Kabasele has to be very careful. As that long ball came into the box, he had both of his arms over the top of Harry Kane's shoulders. Could easily have been given as a free kick or a penalty.
There's Dembele on the halfway line. There's a couple of possible penalty shouts that have involved Kabasele so far, but he's got away with them up to this juncture. A couple of minutes of the second half played. Watford 0, Tottenham 0 on Premier League Live. Moussa Dembele's given it away. Don't say that too often, actually. In the centre circle there, presents possession to Watford. They look long for the run of Andre Gray, read by Vertonghen, who heads it down to his right for Alderweireld. Now Kieran Trippier did well under pressure from Holebas, goes infield. Dembele, he's under pressure as well, and again it's a Watford man on the end of his pass. Will use this time. Andre Gray just sees it spin away from Capu. Didn't quite work out for Watford. Nobody can really get hold of the ball. And Dele Alli wins it on halfway. What can he do with it? Into the feet of Lucas Moura. Lays it off for Christian Eriksen to have a hit. Generated some power. I think it was just fading away from that far post anyway, but Foster down to his right is able to make the save and hold on.
Sharp play from Dele Alli. Plays the ball into Lucas Moura's feet. Tries to set it for Christian Eriksen to come onto it first time and strike it. Doesn't really hit it well. Drags it along the floor. Comfortable save for Foster.
Eriksen still waiting for his first goal of the new season. That's 56 in Tottenham colours throughout a hugely productive career in North London. And this is Jan Vertonghen for Spurs, who will go back towards Sanchez. Eriksen, of course, often the creative force in the Spurs side as well. He's actually looking to bring up a half-century of Premier League assists today. Only Darren Anderton has more in the Premier League era for Tottenham than Eriksen does. Here's Vertonghen now. Forward it goes by Ben Davies. And towards Dele Alli. Tries to return it to Davies. Takes a bit of a clattering from Will Hughes. Referee saw it as a strong shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. Allows it to go on. Vicarage works it into a bit of space for Holebas. Still midway inside his own half, but he does have time to luck up before launching it long into the channel. And it will reach Andre Gray here. Sanchez is with him. Gray tries to hold it up. Under pressure from Davinson Sanchez. Goes back down the line for Vicarage. Dinks it into the middle where Deeney was waiting, but it's just behind him and it sails through harmlessly in the end to Michel Vorm.
It's a poor ball, wasn't it? It was a good initial ball forward down the line to Elise Gray. Set it back to Decore. He's looking for the run of Troy Deeney in the box, but his pass was behind him.
There's Dele Alli picking up the pieces for Spurs on the halfway line. Dembele to Toby Alderweireld. Almost 5 minutes played in the second half. Still 0-0. Burnley 0, Manchester United 2 at Turf Moor. Christian Eriksen forward. Dele Alli. Referee Mariner takes evasive action to step out of the way. I'm sure the pass reaches Jan Vertonghen. Now Eriksen, who pings it forward. It's a good ball towards the far side of the penalty area, looking for the run of Kieran Trippier. Lucas will keep it alive on the far touchline for Tottenham. Goes back down the line for Alderweireld. This is Eriksen. Watford having to do a lot of work here without the ball.
It's similar pattern to the first half, isn't it? Tottenham dominating possession, camped in Watford's half. Not able to create a chance.
Ben Davies now breaks back to him. Now Eriksen to get his shot away, comes through a crowd of players as he tried to wrap that right boot around it. In the end, it goes straight through to Foster again.
It's a pretty tame effort in the end, wasn't it? Trippier's ball back to him, opens himself out onto his right foot, looking to bend it in the far corner. But straight at Ben Foster, just bounced up in front of him.
A couple of long-range efforts from Eriksen, which haven't really extended Foster yet. Spurs man trying to find his range perhaps from that sort of distance. Here's Will Hughes for Watford with a little turn away from Dele Alli. Turned back into trouble though. Alli was able to get a foot in, but Decore helps out Hughes. Those two combined in the Watford midfield. It's now with Etienne Capu just too far ahead of Hughes. One back by Jan Vertonghen. Still going Vertonghen, and he just stepped away from Capu before taking a tumble inside the centre circle, and that I think is going to prompt Andre Mariner to reach for his yellow card for the first time. Tottenham actually gone all the way up the other end of the pitch, and Harry Kane was about to get a shot away on the edge of the box, but the referee had pulled it back, and he is going to get his card out.
Yeah, I think what he certainly has to give a card now, because he's stopped Tottenham taking it quickly, hasn't he? And Harry Kane was away, but certainly deserved a yellow card. Capu, Jan Vertonghen driving out of defence, takes the touch past Capu, and Capu just drags him to the ground in the middle of the centre circle. Quickly taken free kick from Eriksen. Release Kane actually was in 1v1 against Craig Cathcart in the penalty area at the other end. Tottenham a little aggrieved that wasn't let go.
Yeah, real source of frustration there. But Capu is into the book, confirmation of the first caution of the contest, the former Tottenham man. It's Mauricio Pochettino that sold him to Watford actually for about £6 million back in the summer of 2015. A strong challenge by Doucouré, too strong. He thought for a moment there he'd got away with that and come away with the board. He's furious actually with the referee for blowing the whistle and has to be careful with his reaction if he's not going to go into the book.
It's a free kick. I mean, Doucouré's frustrated because it's actually a really poor touch and decision from Christian Eriksen, and he maybe could have won the ball without clattering into the back of him.
Spurs take the kick and find Ben Davies with it on the left hand side, touches it infield towards Dele Alli. Now Yanmar gets a touch. Clearance from Watford is straight out of play though. So Dembele goes chasing after it to retrieve it, try and keep the tempo high. Tottenham in charge, certainly in terms of dictating the tempo of the game just at the moment. 7 minutes into this second half, still 0-0 on Premier League Live. Floated forward into the run of Lucas Moura, cleared as far as Christian Eriksen. Dele Alli to return it. Eriksen had continued his run. Kabasele's header under pressure. Lucas Moura returns it from the right. Eriksen trying to get there and trying to squeeze it in.
How has that gone in?
It's one of the more bizarre goals that you will see, but Tottenham lead at Vicarage Road from an almost impossible angle in the end. It has squeezed in the Watford defence all at sea, and Spurs lead.
Well, Lucas Moura's claiming it. I'm not quite sure that he will be able to claim it. Might be one for the Premier League dubious goals panel, this one, but it's a long ball forward from the back from Alderweireld. Kabasele heads it down, Eriksen quick onto it. Ali lost the ball. Foster and Kabasele getting a complete mix-up, and I think it ends up coming off Abdoulaye Doucouré, who's running back towards his own goal as Lucas Moura just trying to help it back into an area for someone else to get a finish. It hits Doucouré smack on the chest and he's running back towards his own goal and creaks past Ben Foster at the near post.
What a mess there for Watford. Lucas was wheeling away celebrating. Eriksen, I think, was trying to claim it there. He got a toe to, not sure he did. And it will probably go down as the Doucouré own goal, as you say. Now Watford trying to respond straight away at the other end there. Roberto Pereyra almost in, gets to the byline, just forced wide and hooks it back in towards the penalty area. Cleared away by Spurs on the edge of their own box. They were almost caught cold there right from the restart.
Yeah, they were, just fell asleep, didn't they? And I think Roberto Pereyra running at Toby Alderweireld in the box. Alderweireld just stuck out a leg, and I think had Pereyra gone down, it would have given Andre Mariner a real decision to make.
Well, you said the opening goal was going to be important in opening up the game, and already we're seeing evidence of that. 10 minutes into the second half, Watford 0, Tottenham 1. It's Spurs as it stands on course to make it 4 wins from 4 at the start of the Premier League season, and Watford really up against it now if they're not to drop their first points of the campaign, but an awful long way still to go on Premier League Live. It really does set it up now, that opening goal, because Watford, you sense, were happy enough at 0-0 to try and hold on to what they have. They don't have it any longer, but Tottenham will also fancy their chances of picking a way through when more space surely will start to open up for them.
I think it's important from Tottenham's point of view that they carry on in the same vein that they started this second half, trying to force Watford back and go and get a second goal, because one may never be enough.
It's another one of those raking crossfield balls from right to left from Toby Alderweireld from the halfway line, which Watford deal with initially, but they still have some potential trouble brewing here. Lucas Moura and Kieran Trippier combined down the Tottenham right, just in from the touchline. A little further infield now is Christian Eriksen. Doucouré with him. Eriksen gets his shot away. Again, didn't really connect properly with it. Kabasele with the initial block, and then it's cleared by Holebas up towards Andre Gray. An isolated figure in attack as he challenges Davinson Sanchez with it. Then Gray goes down, and he is going to get the decision. Watford free kick here. Sanchez just queries that with the referee. Got very tight to Gray, didn't he, which is why it's been given.
If you look, Gray's actually holding the back of Sanchez. There's not a lot in that. It could easily have gone either way, actually, that free kick, and Watford have got it this time.
Sanchez had his arm wrapped around Gray, but Gray had Sanchez by the back of the shorts there, didn't he?
They're both holding each other off. It's just Tottenham holding a very high line here from the free kick, which is just past the edge of the centre circle in Tottenham's half. Holebas on it with his left foot. Spurs probably 10 yards outside the 18-yard box.
What a high line they're holding here. And as Holebas stands over it and then pings it up towards the edge of the penalty area. Kabasele will try and nod it back down into the danger zone. Dembele clears but only finds Daryl Janmaat with it. Now to his right is Hughes. Left-footed attempt at the cross is blocked by Dembele. And Janmaat goes all the way back to Eddie Nketiah, and halfway he will return it even further to Foster. Watford in retreat before Foster goes long. He has plenty of purchase on that clearance, but Trippier had read it well, cuts it out before it could reach Roberto Pereyra, and because Pereyra was chasing after it, there's plenty of space for Trippier to advance into. He plays it forward, good spring from Lucas Moura there on the edge of the Watford penalty area. Spurs not quite able to profit from it, but he got up really well. Alderweireld flicks it further forward for Spurs towards the halfway line now. The bouncing ball is loose. Capu with a touch to Daryl Janmaat. Watford back in possession. 57.5 on the clock in Premier League Live. Watford 0, Tottenham 1. The own goal from Doucouré is the difference so far. Dele Alli to Kieran Trippier. This is Eriksson. He will ping it forward first time. It's asking an awful lot of Harry Kane to chase. Kabasele had a clear head start on him. Always going to get there first. Guides it back to his goalkeeper. That's Foster to clear it away. Instead he does the halfway. Returned by Sanchez. Capu stretching to reach it. Ben Davis is there when it comes down. Now Dembele inside the centre circle. Eddie Nketiah again snapping at his heels. Watford still with a man down inside the centre circle here. The referee is content to let play continue. Jan Vertonghen seemed a little uncertain whether to do so. Deeney is getting back to his feet now. Still not moving very freely at all. Spurs still have it. Trippier on the right hand side. Infield towards Kane. Good turn by Harry Kane. Capu just left a trailing foot in to nick the ball away as it turned out. Holebas now towards Roberto Pereyra, who's going to get there first ahead of Dembele. Pereyra for Watford goes crossfield from left to right. He was trying to find Gray. It was Vertonghen in the way. It wasn't a good clearance though. Straight to Will Hughes. Gray will chase after it. He'll keep it in play on the Watford right. Daryl Janmaat in support. Goes infield instead to Will Hughes here. Watford go in pursuit of parity as we head towards the hour mark. Hughes once more. Angle just closed down by Dele Alli, so he goes infield where Gray was trying to turn. He was caught, and it's another Watford free kick, and this is a little closer to the danger area. 25 yards out maybe, just to the right of centre. Yeah, it's going to be possibly a shot at goal from this one. Dele Alli with a lazy leg, just left it dangling. Andre Gray went over it. Free kick just to the right side of the 18-yard box, probably 10 yards outside the 18-yard box. Very promising position for Watford. Kiki Sweets coming in. Wisdom listening to us from Port Harcourt, Nigeria, supporting Spurs today. Flem asking why did Eric Dyer start for Tottenham? He's listening from Georgia. Well, he's on the bench, isn't he? He is on the bench. He was available. That was a tactical switch from Mauricio Pochettino today. So what Watford have got from the free kick. Holebas over it, 4 in the wall for Spurs on the edge of the penalty area. Holebas breaks it straight out that wall, which stood firm and did its job. It will break back for Holebas again to huck it in high this time, deep into the danger area. Spurs appealing there was a Watford hand in there. It's pretty comfortably cleared by Tottenham in the end towards that far touchline right in front of the dugouts where it runs away from Lucas Moura, but they'll get the throw. It was Kabasele, wasn't it, that was the player involved. Just mistimed his header, didn't he? Supposed to take the throw pretty quickly, and it's a really strong run again. Showed a real turn of pace, Lucas Moura. He just ran out of room though before it reached the byline and goes ultimately for the goal kick. Yeah, he's been the man today, hasn't he? The big threat for Tottenham. Harry Kane, they struggled to get in the game. Dele Alli's been very prominent in and around the edge of the box, but Lucas Moura's been the one stretching the line and giving Watford's defence problems. Hour in at Vicarage Road. Watford 0, Tottenham 1. Spectacular, speculative attempt from Gray from the edge of the penalty area. As Watford try and mount their response here. It came from a long ball forward. Deeney inflicted on. Hughes had helped it on and wasn't closed down, was he? Quickly by the Tottenham defenders. Had a chance to take a touch and set himself, and ended up striking across it with his right foot off the outside of his right foot. He was invited really to get his shot away, wasn't he, by the lack of closing down initially. Clash of heads there. The referee has to stop this straight away. It certainly looked a painful one. Lucas, who's down for Tottenham, looked like he came off the worst. Tottenham medical staff on very quickly here. I think he's going to be okay sitting up again, which is always a good sign. I think it was Kabasele that he he went up with challenging for the high ball. It just enables a little bit of breathing space for both sides as they take on some refreshment on the touchline. Mauricio Pochettino passing on his observations and instructions into the closing half an hour. His team's lead's still a pretty fragile one.
It is, yeah. There's nothing in this game. Watford, I think, as the game goes on, will start to take a few more chances and commit a few more bodies forward, and it's going to be interesting to see how Tottenham deal with that and whether they'll be able to be good enough to pick Watford off on the counter-attack. But Watford have shown enough to say that they're still in this game. Very unfortunate to be behind, really, to a freak own goal.
Yeah, that is all that is separating them at the moment. Ball bouncing off Decore and into the back of the Watford net. Kabasele and Lucas both making their way off the field now after that hefty collision. I think we'll see them both returning straight away after that prolonged period of treatment, which, as I say, has just broken up the momentum of the match a little bit. Gives me the chance to go to some of your tweets as well. Michael has asked us, do Spurs have a deep enough squad to challenge the top two this season? Other squads have added some more quality, whereas Spurs have kept the same squad. That lack of signings was the major talking point in the summer. They quieted it down because of the start that they made, but it may recur as a theme the later the season goes on.
I think it's huge that they were able to hold on to Toby Alderweireld and Danny Rose. You know, the window's now shut across Europe. They were the two that you kind of expected them to lose this summer. So they've got a decent squad. If everyone stays fit, I think they've got enough depth, certainly to challenge for the top 3 spots in the Premier League.
That's the other side of it, isn't it? They might not have brought anybody in, but they haven't lost anybody either.
And they got a lot of them to sign new contracts as well. You know, the likes of Son, Kane, Lamela, Sanchez.
And we're seeing what the likes of Lucas Moura, after 6 months in the Premier League, can do now that he's seemingly adjusting to this division. Harry Winks is back from a long-term injury.
Yeah.
Another option has come on in the last couple of games.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a good squad. It's a very good squad, Tottenham squad, and that's why Pochettino, I think, was reluctant just to bring in signings just to freshen it up. He wanted some people who were going to actually make this squad better.
Not easy to find in the current market. Play back underway with a Tottenham throw here. Kieran Trippier down the right-hand side, in towards Harry Kane, who's strong against Kabasele. Christian Eriksen trying to deliver the cross from the right. Blocked by Pereyra, didn't get too far with it though, taken off his toes by Trippier. Holebas looking to shepherd it out of play under pressure from Trippier, who wasn't content to let that one go.
He wins the corner. I don't think Holebas agrees. Holebas certainly doesn't agree.
He's having plenty to say to Scott Ledger, the assistant referee at the moment. It's a fairly heated, prolonged conversation that is going on between the two of them. He's only going to end one way. He's not going to change his mind.
He tried to see it out, didn't he? Holebas used his body just to let the pace on the ball take it over the line. It's a foul, actually, by Kieran Trippier. He fouls Holebas, makes no contact with the ball. It does come back off of Holebas, but should have been a free kick.
Instead, Tottenham do get the corner, which Trippier is going to take right-footed from the right, over the head of Alderweireld. Didn't quite reach Sanchez. Cleared by Watford as far as Eriksen. Dembele deep here inside the centre circle. And it reaches the Belgian. It's back in by Ben Davies, hoisted high, and Foster made his mind up very early to come and gather. Decisive goalkeeping. He did get there on the edge of his own area and releases it very quickly for Pereyra to chase over on that far side. Dembele had gone with him and did well just to hold off the Argentinian and guide it back to Michel Vorm. The Tongans under pressure as well from Deeney on the edge of the penalty area. Watford, when they get the chance, is still pressing high. Davis will clear down the left-hand side. Cathcart went over the top of Kane, and then it's cleared in behind it for Harry Kane to run onto. Lucas Moura in the middle as well, and that's the ball that Kane was trying to play, but he hit Kabasele with it, and Watford survived.
Oh, what a chance for Tottenham to get that second goal.
Throw taken quickly. Let's still be the chance here. Eriksen, twinkle toes on the edge of the box, but Eddie Nkapou was strong and stood his ground and did enough to dispossess Eriksen. Now here come Watford, with Andre Gray picking up possession inside his own half on the Watford right. Leaves it for Daryl Janmaat to float it forward, where Deeney had made the run. It was a strong run as well, and a strong shoulder-to-shoulder challenge with Sanchez. Deeney comes away from Davinson Sanchez. Time to look up and deliver the cross. Deflected off the post. Still the danger. Dele Alli back in his own box, tries to deal with it and did enough to come away with it. Helped out by Davis to get it clear. Watford protesting it had gone out of play. It hadn't, said the assistant referee, but Will Hughes here has actually won it back against Kane, and then does just run it off the pitch. But that was the closest by some margin that Watford have come to an equaliser. And it was almost as bizarre as the goal that Spurs scored at the other end.
It's Alderweireld, the cross to the near post by Troy Deeney. It's Alderweireld trying to clear his lines, ends up heading it back towards his own goal. It cannons back off the far post. I mean, Tottenham very fortunate not to concede a goal there.
Here's Andre Gray battling for it. He's into the Tottenham penalty area. Deeney helps him out. Gray going down. Not really any appeal. The challenge was made on the Watford striker. Challenge goes flying in from Cathcart and Dele Alli on the touchline. Strong challenge, but a fair one, says the referee. Hughes comes forward. Hughes goes down. The referee gives the free kick this time to Watford. He's going to get his card out as well. As we reach the midway point of the second half, it is all going on.
Well, there's a few tackles flying in. Certainly the temperature's risen up there out on that pitch. Cathcart with a crunching challenge on the touchline. Force of Will Hughes tries to take on Moussa Dembele, who runs across him, puts his arm out. I'm not sure it's a yellow card for Dembele, but it's a yellow card. It's certainly a free kick in a dangerous position for Watford.
Dembele, the first Tottenham name taken. We go into the closing quarter of the contest. Watford 0, Tottenham 1 on Premier League Live. But Watford were only a fraction away a moment ago from the equalising goal from another own goal. Those again are the small margins that we've talked about all afternoon that are separating these sides. Watford with the free kick though. Hollerbass, the left footer from the right hand side, will take it. Lucas and Eriksson, a two-man Tottenham wall. Everybody else is waiting beyond them, making their move in the penalty area. Here it comes on the header. It's guided goalwards and into the far corner, and Watford are level. It's a big goal from their captain Troy Deeney. He's the man that netted in the middle. Michel Vorm unable to react to it, flashes past his right hand, and Watford will argue after this sustained period of pressure that they deserve parity. They are level. Watford 1, Tottenham 1.
Well, Tottenham had a real scare just a minute ago. They don't deal well with Hollerbass's left foot ball bending in towards the far post. They drop far too deep for the initial ball. Troy Deeney just holds his ground. Vertonghen can't get near him, and it's a brilliant header from Deeney. It really is. He just guides it, uses the pace on the ball and guides it towards the far post. Michel Vorm just watches it go past him, does not even move, knew he had no chance of getting there. Watford back on level terms and thoroughly deserved.
The skipper with a huge goal for the home side here. Troy Deeney, who's making the 250th start of his league career today, has marked it in style. Only the fourth Watford player in history to score in 100 different games. And the celebrations led by Sir Elton from the stands. They had been applying the pressure though. They had responded to falling behind in the unfortunate fashion in which that Tottenham Tottenham opener came about. They've got their equaliser, and Watford now respond. Javi Gracia with a change. Andre Gray has made way, and off the bench comes Isaac Success for the fourth time in 4 in the Premier League this season. He's been summoned as a substitute, having scored in the League Cup win at Reading when he was given his starting chance in midweek. One of the last 20 minutes we can have here.
Perfectly poised now, isn't it, this game?
Tottenham attack down the right. Eriksson with the ball in the middle towards Lucas. Daryl Janmaat got to it first. Emphatic clearance as it had to be. Straight out of play on the far side for the Spurs throw. Well, both teams, as we mentioned, coming into it with 100% starts. Both will still feel that maintaining them could be a real possibility in the last 20.
And the momentum certainly changed a little bit, hasn't it? With that goal, Watford on top, and it settled back in again. Watford has settled back into that position of just dropping off to the halfway line, allowing Tottenham to have possession but making themselves difficult to play through.
Christian Eriksen again, crowded out of it and outnumbered really 2-1 on the far touchline, the Tottenham right. Trippier was trying to support him. Pereyra just about got enough on it back to his goalkeeper for Ben Foster to clear. Alderweireld goes up forward in the air against the Watford substitute Isaac Success. Kabasele will clear from the edge of his own box towards Trippier, who takes a tumble and did get a nudge from behind. The free kick given just in from the touchline for Tottenham.
Over exuberant challenge, I think, from Success there. Just fresh onto the pitch, wanted to make his mark. Bundled into the back of the defender, didn't they?
Yeah, smacked exactly that, didn't they? Just over eagerness, like you say. Having watched on patiently from the substitutes bench until now. An opportunity for him to really make an impact in the game, though, so far balanced as it is. Lucas doing well to deliver the cross from the right under pressure, but nobody really on the end of it for Spurs. Watford clear towards Isaac's success again. Ball was just nicked away from him, though, by Eriksson. This is Dele Alli through the middle, and still Dele Alli as he rides the initial challenge from Capu. Will Hughes trying to help out as well, but it breaks back for Harry Kane. Yanmat gets a foot in. Decore under pressure will clear as far as Pereyra on that far side, just coming back infield. Never really had it under control there, Roberto Pereyra. Nobody's really had it under control in this particular passage of play, in fairness, before Decore strides away with it. Dele Alli then takes it off Decore, turned back into trouble. Dele Alli again picks up the return pass from Christian Eriksen, advances to the corner of the penalty area, but he just took a little too long, and it was taken off him impressively by Capu. Watford win it well. Daryl Yanmat, he goes crossfield right to left, on towards that far side. Isaac's success brings it under control. Had Hughes through the middle, instead looking for Yanmat to continue his run. He'll reach it just ahead of Davis. Now has it. There's Yanmat. Success again, works it wide to that left hand side. Deeney to try and deliver this time. The goal scorer trying to turn provider for Hughes, far side. Never quite got enough on it up against Ben Davis, but he'll get the throw, and Watford do have the momentum.
They do, yeah. The crowd are behind them. You can really hear the atmosphere in Vicarage Road is absolutely on fire at the moment. Watford on top. They sense a big scalp here.
Can they make it 4 from 4 for the first time ever at the start of a Premier League season? Can they beat Tottenham for the first time ever in their Premier League history? 17 minutes to find out. 1-1 on Premier League Live. Yanmat with the throw. Back from the feet of Isaac's success for Yanmat to volley in the cross. Pereyra trying to bring it down on the edge of the penalty area. Does that, denied the space for the shot, but he backpeeled it towards Troy Deeney. He didn't really have the room either, as it turned out. Very congested on the edge of the area. Lucas sets off in pursuit, goes flying off the perimeter of the pitch, but Holebas with a strong challenge and a fair one. Wins it well, hoists the cross into the danger area. Success trying to bring it down, bounces off Davis, hits Isaac's success on the chest, I think, but it squirts out of play. It goes for the goal kick.
What a last few minutes it's been. It's been hectic, it's been frantic. There's only one league in the world that plays at that sort of pace for any period of time. It's the Premier League. It's great to watch, isn't it?
Fabulous fair unfolding at Vicarage Road. Watford 1, Tottenham 1. Heading for the closing quarter of an hour. And for all the pressure, for all the high tempo that we've seen, we've only actually had 3 attempts on target in the entire game thus far. 1 goal apiece, and anything could happen in the closing quarter of an hour. Hopefully you won't be going anywhere. Won't want to miss this. It's up towards Isaac's success. Just forced wide, but he'll get there first ahead of Davis. Always made himself available since he came on. He's been heavily involved as the Nigerian. This is Daryl Yanmat trying to get away from Dembele. He does, and he delivers the deep cross towards the far side. Pereyra meets it. Hughes scrapping for it with Davis in the penalty area. Tottenham wing back clears only as far as Holebas, keeps it in play on the far side. Looks to get away from Lucas. He does. He stumbles, gets himself back to his feet very quickly to deliver the cross as Holebas comes off Toby Alderweireld, and Watford get the corner.
Yeah, it's all Watford at the moment, isn't it? Ball to the back post from Yanmat. Pereyra arrives. Could he have gone for goal? Tries to head it back across goal, and Tottenham ended up clearing the danger, but at the expense of a corner.
Looks like Pereyra might take it. We saw on the opening day against Brighton an elaborate corner kick routine paid dividends, although it was Pereyra that finished that one off from the edge of the area. He's standing over this. They've got Kabasele and Cathcart both forward from centre back. Eddie and Capu is a target, making a nuisance of himself in the middle as well as the cross comes in. Oh, and it's turned in. Craig Cathcart wheels away in celebration. Watford incredibly have turned this one around. They've come back from behind and lead against Tottenham with victory now in their sights. They try and make it 4 from 4. The damage done from the corner, and Vicarage Road celebrates.
Well, it's been coming, hasn't it, since they got back on level terms. It's just a simple ball into the box, and it's terrible defending from Moussa Dembele, who's marking Cathcart. Just gets caught underneath the ball. He had no interest there, Moussa Dembele, in going to head the ball. He's just trying to stop Cathcart heading it. Alderweireld mistimes his jump ahead of him, and Cathcart just waltzes past Dembele and has the simplest of tasks, just to head it back into the corner of the net, to the delight of these fans at Vicarage Road.
What a story developing here. Craig Cathcart, only his second ever Premier League goal. As it stands, is the Hornets' hero. Real spirit and resolve from Watford after the unfortunate concession of the own goal opener to bounce back and some. And Craig Cathcart, who was featured previously 5 times against Tottenham in the Watford shirt and lost the lot, has given Watford the lead here with less than 15 minutes of the 90 to play.
Well, you look at Tottenham's bench and what Pochettino can maybe do. He hasn't got too many options. Maybe Llorente would be the obvious one. He's the only one really who's an attacking option on the bench.
Oh, what a turnaround. Llorente may well be sent on. He's going through his warm-up at the moment. Of course, Eric Lamela was injured, I think, in the warm-up on Monday, wasn't he, against Manchester United, when he was due to be a substitute with a late withdrawal from the squad, and is not featuring, not available today. And is hucked away by Trippier. Tottenham with some defensive work to do first before they can think about their pursuit of an equaliser. Harry Kane's done well on halfway. Finds Jan Vertonghen inside the centre circle. Well, before today, through their first 3 games of the fixture, 3 fixtures of the season, Tottenham had only conceded 2 goals. Watford have matched that in this second half turnaround.
2 set pieces.
Yeah, here comes Spurs with Trippier down the right. Good block by Pereyra. All hands on deck defensively for Watford now. The effort, the urgency, the intensity has all been on show. All been up to the levels required by Watford in this second half. Certainly since they fell behind, it has just sparked them into even greater heights maybe. But there's could be the chance for Tottenham, for Lucas Moore, almost out of nothing, the ball coming in from the right hand side in towards the 6-yard box. Lucas didn't really get the required connection, and Watford survived the scare. But with 12 minutes to go, anything can happen from here.
Well, Watford certainly aren't going to come out of their shape now. They're going to sit back in as they have done the whole game and make it difficult. The onus is on Tottenham. Do they change from that back 5 to a back 4 maybe?
There's Lucas again. Ball finds him in the D on the edge of the penalty area. With his back to goal though, leads it to Christian Eriksen. He finds Trippier on the right. His cross is blocked. Cleared as far as Alderweireld. Back towards Kieran Trippier again. And now Toby Alderweireld. Trippier once more. Path to the penalty area is blocked by Pereyra. Eriksen taking over. Watford, as you would expect, with everybody back behind the ball. It's in by Alderweireld and out by Christian Kabasele, who's had plenty to do at the heart of that Watford defence on his landmark 200th career league appearance. Shaping up to be a memorable one as it stands, but Spurs giving this everything now, heading for the last 10 minutes on Premier League Live. They lead Tottenham by 2 goals to 1. Manchester United, just to remind you, still 2-0 up at Burnley, as they have been since half-time. Lukaku with both the goals. Eriksen finding Ben Davies down the Tottenham left, swings in the cross, trying to locate the run towards the near post of Kane. Not quite though, and it's a cool, calm, collected take beyond him from Ben Foster. Matteo Pochettino looks rather glum on the touchline at the moment. Now it's his team's winning start under significant threat at Vicarage Road.
Llorente stripped, ready to come on.
Dembele's crossfield ball is cut out by Hughes. Not quite being able to find their men in this little period of play. Hughes held up. Watford will get the decision. It'll give Spurs the chance to make this change though. Fernando Llorente, a plan B off the bench.
One of the centre-backs you'd expect.
Yes, Alderweireld that is making way in this change for the last 10 minutes to enable the introduction of the big centre forward, featuring in the Premier League actually for the first time this season. Featuring in the Premier League for the 50th time in his career, second season since he switched from Swansea City.
I think it'll be a 4-4-2 now for Spurs. Lucas Moura will go and play wide right. Kieran Trippier drop back in as a right back, a normal right back, not as a wing back, and Llorente will join Harry Kane up front.
First duty could well be a defensive one, because Watford have the free kick on halfway. It's headed down towards Isaac's success in the penalty area, just guided back by Vertonghen as Michel Vorm came to collect. He did get there, bowls it out towards Ben Davies. People will Look at the absence of Lloris today and see that without him, Tottenham have conceded as many goals as they have in the first 3 fixtures with Lloris, but couldn't really point the finger at Vorm, could you, for either of the goals?
No, he hasn't had a chance with either of the goals.
Turned infield by Dele Alli for Tottenham. Eriksson through the middle. Llorente, first touch wasn't a good one, first touch of the game for him, and it's cleared away by Watford from the edge of the box, out of play on the far side. Trippier takes the throw very quickly. Very quickly is the order of the day for Spurs in the circumstances, heading for the last 8 minutes on Premier League Live. They trail at Watford by 2 goals to 1. Down the line by Davis. Llorente making the run to the channel towards the corner flag, actually held up by Cathcart, who, as it stands, is the unlikely match winner. Not that it's won yet, of course, by any stretch of the imagination for Watford. Doing his best to help protect that lead, Cathcart, as he clears it out for the throw, taken by Davis. We'll get it back from Llorente. Back down the line now for Dele Alli. The angle maybe to get the cross in, but he just delayed it. Enabled Will Hughes to close him down. Goes back down the line in the end to Jan Vertonghen. Davis again. Here's Dele Alli once more. Hughes is still with him. To his right is Christian Eriksen. Eriksen going to have a go for goal, looking for the spectacular. Got some power behind it, but again, right behind it was Foster.
He's not really had his shooting boots on today, Christian Eriksen. Again, straight at Ben Foster. Just had the presence just to pat it down onto the floor and catch it second attempt.
I think every effort from Eriksen from that sort of distance has been straight at the goalkeeper, hasn't it, today? Here he is back in his own half trying to win the ball, under pressure from Roberto Pereyra. Dembele comes away with it, just got a foot to it first ahead of Hughes. Davis down the left, infield towards Harry Kane, dropping deeper here and then hunts it out towards that right hand side, brought down first time by Llorente. Lucas in the middle, Cathcart there with him, wins it in the air. Still work for Holebas to do, and it bounces away off for Holebas. It will be a Tottenham corner. 7 minutes to go at Vicarage Road. Trippier is going to take it. He does wait for both Vertonghen and Sanchez to venture forward from the back. Trippier now whips it in with menace. Kane, I think, was his target, headed out by Holebas. Successful chase it down, but Christian Eriksen has it, albeit only just inside the Watford half. Pings it out to the left. Vertonghen with a touch. Llorente trying to get there, and he couldn't really apply a touch to it, which enables Foster to go down and hold on his near post. I'm not sure it was actually what Jan Vertonghen was intending, but it almost worked out perfectly.
It did. It was a diagonal ball to Vertonghen, who stayed up from the corner. He just put it back across the 6-yard box, and Llorente's at the near post. I think he goes with his right foot when he could have easily swung his left foot at it and probably got better contact. It would have been interesting if the flag would have gone up. So I thought he looked a yard offside there when it came back in from Vertonghen.
Flag had stayed down. And we go into the last 6 minutes with the score still Watford 2, Tottenham 1. All the drama in this second half. Vicarage Road, Watford responding to going behind, an unfortunate Doucouré own goal. Troy Deeney, a fine-headed equaliser, and then Craig Cathcart from another set piece heading the Hornets in front. They are far from home and dry just yet. Tottenham trying to attack down their right through Lucas, but it's going to be a Watford ball, and there's further activity on the bench here. Javi Gracia is going to make another move. He's going to bring Nathaniel Chalabar into the action for the final 5 minutes as he continues along the comeback trail, taking the place of Will Hughes. Started against Reading in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday night, did Chalabar. His first start since that horrible fractured kneecap that he suffered almost a year ago now, but he's certainly going to give Watford many more options in midfield now that he is fit again, and he has a job to do to help them over the line here. Tottenham are also making a change and taking off Moussa Dembele. Harry Winks, I think, is going to be his replacement. Yeah, he's off the bench for the third game running, also coming back from a long-term injury absence after ankle surgery. All changed for the final 5.
Yeah, good to see both those players coming on, really. 2 young English talented players coming onto the pitch.
Coming on into a finely balanced situation here. Watford 2, Tottenham 1 on Premier League Live with 5 minutes of the 90 to go. Davinson Sanchez to Jan Vertonghen for Spurs, who are staring at their first dropped points of the season. Reminder, their next game after the international break is at home to Liverpool. It was intended to be their first game at their new home, of course, but the delay means it's another match at Wembley for them. Game against Watford will not be at Wembley in the Carabao Cup. Come back to that in a moment as Trippier delivers the cross. Harry Kane's on the end of it, and Harry Kane's put it over the bar.
Oh, he does brilliantly. I thought the cross was too high for him initially as the ball goes wide from Winks to Trippier. Wonderfully floated cross. Harry Kane rises. I thought he was never getting anywhere near this. He jumps as high as he can. He tries to hang there and head it and get over it. He just can't quite get over the top of it, and it goes just over Watford's crossbar.
So close for Spurs. Did so well to win it in the air, as you say, did Kane, but just a fraction too high. And you wonder how many more chances they will get going towards now the last 3 minutes of the match. Spurs look for Kane again. So often the man that rides to their rescue. Can he do it again here? His one goal to equal Jermaine Defoe's tally. It's the 5th most in Tottenham history. And it goes by Kieran Trippier. It's a good ball as well, but it was also well defended. Put away by Decore. Rather fortunately bounces back to him off Kieran Trippier. But they can't get out here, Watford. It's Harry Winks to run it back at them. First involvement since he came on. He's up towards the corner of the penalty area. Was just held up though. Kepu will clear it. Asking Isaac Success to chase it down the Watford right.
Silly.
Needless little shove in the back
of Vertonghen. And then it's needless from Vertonghen as well, getting involved.
Tonga then tries to take the free kick with Isaac Success still writhing in agony beyond him. Would have been an exaggerated reaction, but as you say, Vertonghen was silly to give him this chance.
Absolutely. Vertonghen wanted to get the ball back, but there's no need to shove him and almost trample on him. It was a silly foul from Success to give away the ball. Vertonghen was going nowhere back towards his own goal, just bundled into the back of Vertonghen. Then Vertonghen, in his desperation to get the ball, just pushes Success right in front of the linesman. He's lucky to get away without a yellow card there.
Play back underway with Tottenham attacking down the left-hand side. Ben Davies running at Janmaat. He's away from Janmaat. Wasn't strong enough there, the fullback. Dele Alli will square it to his right. And Lucas, important touch from Capu, cuts it out. And Deeney turns it away from danger and sets off in pursuit of his own ball forward. Won't get there, it'll run out of play for the Spurs throw, but it runs down the clock that little bit further. And Tottenham turn to their bench again now for the final time to bring Danny Rose into the action. He will come on for Ben Davies for the last couple of minutes. It's a strange one.
Interesting change. I actually think Danny Rose is a much better player than Ben Davies, and for me he would be my first choice left back, whether it's as a wing back or as a conventional left back. I'm surprised he didn't play. I thought he did really well against Manchester United.
Yeah, didn't play in that one, but one of the 3 changes today saw him drop back down to the bench. Doesn't have long to make a difference today, that is for sure. Minute of the 90 to go. Well, went back by Lucas on that far side though. Watford appealing for the free kick. Just seemed to stop for a second as the ball comes in. There is a foul now inside the penalty area. Watford do get the free kick this time and the chance to clear their lines as Captain Kane continues the complaints.
Yeah, Harry Kane, as the cross comes in, just eases Christian Kabasele underneath the ball, just gives him a little shove with his hand, forces him underneath the ball. Good spot from Andre Mariner.
Well, they won't be in any great hurry to take it, the Hornets here. They're going to make another change as well, their third and final substitution. And off will come Roberto Pereyra. He's got 6 goals in his last 6 home games. Not amongst the scorers today, but as it stands, it's not going to matter too much. Still getting a wonderful ovation from the home fans. Understandably, I guess, in the circumstances, he's taking his time to soak it in, should we say.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a long walk.
He didn't have far to go to the touchline.
He didn't. Usually they take off the player that's furthest away, don't they?
He tried to drag it out for as long as possible, and another defender, unsurprisingly, is on in his place, Adrian Mariappa, to try and help the Hornets home as we go into added time here. Going to find out exactly how much will be added on. 5 more minutes. Hence the fact it was met with stony silence by most of the home fans here, because there is time yet for Tottenham, albeit it's Watford on the ball as we speak. Isaac Success the target for them down their right hand side. A strong challenge against Danny Rose. He's won it. The referee's allowed it to go on. Success finds Janmaat to hoist it high towards Deeney far side, and it had to be bundled behind, really, shrugging the shoulders from Kieran Trippier, indicating he couldn't take any chances with that, and Watford will certainly settle for the corner.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if this comes out. They won't commit too many bodies forward. I think they'll try and keep this in the corner for as long as they can. Troy Deeney's gone over to take it. Success is going over with him. They're not the usual corner takers, but they're both very strong, very wide. and they're going to try and protect this ball and keep it down in this corner of the pitch.
Exactly what Isaac's success here is attempting to do by the corner quadrant. Tottenham nick it away from him, eventually only as far as Holebas though, and now Deeney will hold it up. He's got his body between Sanchez and the ball, and he's done brilliantly there, hasn't he? He knew exactly what he was looking for.
Sanchez just showed a little bit of an experience there. Troy Deeney had his body between the ball and Davinson Sanchez, and Sanchez just has a little kick at him, and Troy Deeney feels the contact, goes down, wins a free kick, wastes a few more precious seconds.
All with a big grin on his face when that whistle went. They'll try something similar that we saw from the corner a moment ago. Success and Deeney between them. We've already seen a couple of minutes of the 5 added on, eaten away here. Watford 2, Tottenham 1 on Premier League Live. Chelsea and Liverpool making it 4 wins from 4 at the start of the season. As it stands, it will be Watford who join them, ending Spurs' 100% record in the process. Something always have to give today, but a surprise may be that it's going to be Spurs who suffer the setback. There is a yellow card though for Isaac's success, and again, that maybe just hints at his inexperience a little.
He was just trying to delay the throw-in, wasn't he? There was nothing in it. He was just jumping up and down in front of the thrower.
The referee in the circumstances wasn't going to stand for it. And Andre Maroney, for the most part of the game, had kept his cards in his pocket, has reached for it rather more frequently the longer it's gone on. Here is Jan Vertonghen to Harry Winks for Spurs, midway through this dramatic period of stoppage time. Winks goes infield, Sanchez to Vertonghen. Watford, everybody in their own half-back behind the ball. Crossfield ball from left to right. Kieran Trippier is going to get there first though. Bounces to him to deliver towards Llorente. Capu with time to take a touch before hucking it clear from the edge of his own box.
Terrible
more
touch.
than distance on the clearance, but it was a poor touch from Lucas Moura when it eventually came down. It's taken off him now by Decore. Just running out of play on that far side, run out of room on the touchline. Spurs will get the throw, but they have to chase after the ball to get it back first. Less than 2 minutes of the added 5 still to go. Anxious finish in store, but Tottenham not really helping their own cause here. They've got a little bit rattled, but this is better from Harry Winks. It's a strong run.
Poor ball though.
Wasn't matched, was it, by that through ball? Kane was his target. All a bit frantic as Danny Rose tried to win it back, bounced off Kane. Free kick it is, just outside the penalty area. This is dangerous.
It's all action in this final few minutes, isn't it? Daryl Janmaat just letting the ball run across his body. Didn't realise that Danny Rose was behind him. Clatters into him. Free kick on the edge of the box, 18-yard box, just to the left-hand side. Eriksson and Trippier behind it.
Hold your breath moments for the Hornets here. 94 minutes played. They lead Tottenham, who they've never beaten in the Premier League, by 2 goals to 1. But they have this free kick to face. Ben Foster furiously organising the defence in front of him. Christian Eriksen is the one shouldering the responsibility to take it for Tottenham. 3 in the initial Watford wall. Here it comes from Eriksen over that wall. It flicks off Troy Deeney, actually away from danger though, away from the far post, but it will go for the corner, which Harry Winks races to take for Tottenham. Touches it short for Trippier to deliver the cross deep into the danger area. It's cleared only as far as Danny Rose on the edge of the box. The less favoured right foot lashes at it, gets nowhere near goal with it, and you wonder whether that might be that.
Yeah, it may well be that. We're heading towards the 5 minutes being up. It was a half chance for Danny Rose. He would have preferred it on his left foot. Just came on the volley and he lashed at it, he swung at it, going for glory, miles over the crossbar.
Just listen to the Watford fans here on the brink of history. It will take as long as possible over the goal kick that will follow, and there goes the full-time whistle. History for the Hornets, who win their first 5 games in all competitions at the start of a season for the first time in their history, who beat Tottenham in the Premier League for the first time in their history. It is Watford whose winning start goes on 4 from 4 in the top flight. Tottenham's 100% start ends here at Vicarage Road, despite going in front with the Decore own goal. What a response from Watford though. The headers from Deeney and Cathcart win it, and their remarkable start to the campaign continues in style as Vicarage Road celebrates the history-making Hornets. Full time here, Watford 2, Tottenham 1.